What is up, everybody? I'm Enigma Red and this is Enigma's Redstone. So today I have a really cool contraption for you. We're gonna take the snowball and we're gonna turn it into a bouncing ball in Minecraft. So for the purposes of this video, I needed another player. So I borrowed someone else's account and no one else is there. I'm sort of just kind of controlling it separately. So that's why you don't hear anyone else. So yeah, he's just kind of looking around, some random stuff. So yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump right into it. So you can see that I get the snowball, and what happens with this is any direction that you're looking, the snowball will bounce off. So let me just show you. And there we go. So this is, I believe this is east. Looking south. There we go. And it bounces off in that direction. Similarly to how you would in real life. So when you toss a ball, it doesn't just bounce, you know, in place. It sort of bounces off. Kind of creates a little better physics here. Because in Minecraft, there isn't anything close to this. There's not like a bouncing ball. Although I'm not really sure why, to be honest with you. That would be awesome. Alright, so as you could see, this whole thing is, you know, it's based on direction. So wherever you're facing, wherever you're looking, that's the direction that this ball's gonna, you know, bounce off into. And it always faces the player that actually tossed it. So if I toss it this way, you'll see that it's actually bouncing to kind of create the effect better for the player that's using it. This is something that you can use to just kind of mess around with and play around with yourself. But the cool thing about this is that this actually works really good with a multiplayer thing, because before I get into that, let me just show you, if you drop this, instead of basically having it where a you know, a player will drop the item and it'll be floating there, this one sort of creates the same animation effect. Instead of bouncing off though, it sort of bounces in place. This way you can kind of see that, you know, it's you know, it's real, you know, it's not just kind of floating in there like a random, you know what I mean, you know, you've seen them before. So anyway, all right, now the coolest thing that I love about this is my absolute favorite thing here, is this. Bam. You can actually toss the ball to another player. So he's gonna toss it back to me. There we go. Thank you for passing it back. And boom. And it's pretty fast actually. So you can you know, the earlier versions of this I was working on, it actually had to wait like a second or so, but this one is actually pretty good. It's actually pretty fast. So that is the third part, but there's still one more part to hold this whole thing that sort of oh, before I get into that real quick, you can see little particle effects above him. That's because that's to indicate that that player has the ball. So you can see if he's running down the field, you can easily pick him out. It's like, okay, he's the guy to go after. At my feet you'll see smoke, and that's because it shows, hey, you're sort of a scrub. You don't have anything. You don't have what it needs. All right, you don't have what it takes anyway. So the reason why I did that was because of this. If you can see, he actually switched the item that he had highlighted in the hotbar, but he still has the snowball. So if a player were to do this to try to pretend like, oh, I don't have the snowball, this way, you know, there's really no getting around it. You have it. I know you do. So if you hit him, boom, what was that? That was actually a fumble. You know, like the closest thing that I can get to this is like tackling, you know, in Minecraft. Instead of because you can't really tackle people down to the ground, which would be awesome. Yeah, and there we go. So it's always in a random direction. So let's do that one more time to show you that it is see, it's random. And because it's random, there is a possibility that the same direction can come up twice. Just kind of how random works. But that's pretty much, that's basically the main four parts of this. There is another smaller thing to it that just sort of makes it really cool. If you throw the snowball in a certain, like a little too close to you, but not so close that you'll actually pick up the armor stand that's summoned, the snowball will break. Oh, can't get it. I'm trying to show you a little glitch that will happen. It's sort of the properties of the snowball. You can actually see that it broke there, but it picked it up in time and summoned the armor stand holding the snowball. So there we go. Well, finally did it. So the snowball will break, and now nobody has the ball. We both have smoke at our feet. Now we're messed up. The countdown on the side will actually reset the snowball. And there we go. So it's random. Sometimes it'll stay in the center. Sometimes it'll go off. but either way it resets. So that this way, if you have a situation where the snowball, I don't know, falls out of the world, if you throw it out of the world, then this way it'll actually just kind of reset and you can continue playing. And that's pretty much it for this. I'm going to show you real quick the team-based minigame, alpha minigame that I kind of created just to play. So, you know, you can mess around with this. Oh, I killed him. Cool. So, yeah, so let's get right into that. Okay, so here we are. We are at the team recruiting area. Choose your team. Now, basically all you have to do is go onto the pressure plate and the games will begin. So each player has to go onto the pressure plate to pick their team. There we go. And there we go. If you want to play fair, I gave you a little link here to kind of like this. If the ball wasn't there, it basically will reset the ball, or somebody ran off with it, it'll sort of reset it. So you can start the game that way. I'll grab it there, and I'll show you real quick what happens when you go across into the other player's end zone. And there we go. I basically scored a point. Not really fair because of the fact that well, you know, it just wasn't fair. So what I'm gonna do here, it reset. All right, going into his end zone, and there we go. Game over, and there we go. So it resets everything. So 5 is the magic number for the team. But like I said, it's a really basic game. There's not much to it. 5 is the winning score, 2 teams, and that's really it. You know, I may add more to it. Right now, it's really just an alpha kind of thing. I may not end up going anywhere with it, but that's just something that, just to kind of show what you can do with this. You know, you can pass the ball back and forth to avoid being tackled. You can sort of, you know, really do whatever. There's so many possibilities with this. And just to quickly kind of go over, this is the redstone area, right? Let me change my game mode here. Oh, what am I doing here? Change my game mode to creative. There's a couple of sections. I broke it up to make it a little easier to show. The magenta over here is actually what's powering the little team-based minigame. I just call it sports. I have no idea what else to call it. It's not really even football, but whatever, it's close enough. So this is the main brain that runs the team-based game. It's basically, you know, looking for whenever a team scores, it's looking for whether or not a player holding a ball is on top of, where is it? Right there. Wherever the carpet, if he's on top of the other players or the team's carpet, then he gets to score. Same here for the yellow team. This, whenever either team scores, every inventory gets cleared. This sets up the message, touchdowns, the scorekeeping, and all that kind of stuff. It's, you know, a little complex to kind of go into every last detail, but I will just go over basics. So that's that. This is really just the messaging area. Sets up the reset message, the start game, end game, and the, you know, messages when you get the touchdown. This over here in the purple is actually the clock. This is actually what sets up the countdown. You know, and it sets up the reset so that it shows you, okay, when it gets down to this score 0, it resets the ball. When it's at 15, it has to count down, and that's pretty much the countdown. Now, the main meats and guts of this is in the red part. The red part is where the brains of this mostly happens. This is where it's detecting if there is another armor stand. It kills the other armor stand so that we don't have multiple. So when you throw one ball, it doesn't have multiples floating around. This is all here where the fumble is detected. So basically what happens with a fumble is a player who has a ball, which is a scoreboard, which is an objective, and someone who has fumble. Fumble is basically when a player who has the ball gets any damage, they basically will get a fumble. And that's where this system here, the fumble system, FumBot, will actually be, you know, it's a spread player command. So in this certain area, it'll actually, underneath here, you'll see that these are where the snowballs are actually summoned. From that, whoever has a fumble, they'll actually summon a snowball in the random direction. It just uses motion. And that's that. Now, the detection, the direction in which a player is looking is right here. This is what up here, it's these are the directions here, the RY minimum and maximum, and this is basically the direction of what is that, south. All right, so like I said, there are actually 8 different directions that this is detecting, you know, the basic 8. And whenever it detects that, it sets us, like you can see when I'm looking south here, you see how that, and you see I'm looking here, and boom, 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 and that's really just because it's detecting there. And then this one sets up so that whenever a snowball is in the air, it basically locks up this, it turns these to emeralds so that it stops looking for the direction for anywhere else. And then this line will start up, so I'll show you real quick. It'll send it wacky because of where we are, but you'll see up here, all these that usually detect where a player's looking is now emerald, so there's not looking anymore. It's not looking there anymore. And then it sets up this line that's basically for the south facing player and where the ball should go, and then it sets up this animation, which is south, for when the player's looking south and then he throws the ball, if he quickly turns to the north or any other direction, the ball doesn't then go in that direction. This keeps the ball going in the direction the player was looking when he threw the snowball. So that's really all what this, that's the reason why there's a separate middle piece here instead of just going right into this. So this is basically, you can see this is the animation was sort of set up already, but basically what happens is this one is already disabled so that we don't have multiples or more than one armor stand holding a snowball that gets summoned whenever you throw the snowball. So that's what that is. This sets up the bounce animation so that whenever what do you call it, the armor stand is detected with the snowball in the ground, it'll then set up this animation here, which is where it bounces from. So it's labeled on this one, but it's the same way all the way through in the back there. Test for player's inventory. This basically says, okay, when someone does have the ball again, it resets everything. It has a couple things here it sets, and then it goes to the main reset here and basically resets all of that. So let's get a snowball here again and then hit the reset, and actually you can see that, yeah, so you can see everything that was emeralds now back at command block. For over here, you see these command blocks just floating up there, look like they serve no purpose. These are actually saved so that when the emeralds, you know, when you want to clear the emeralds, so these are actually up here for when you want to clear and put back everything. This is actually being cloned below to, you know, override the emeralds. The same thing with here on the top. So these are actually important. If you destroy these, you pretty much destroy the whole thing. So that's pretty much the whole thing. These are the animation, and yeah, pretty much went over everything. So that's it right there. There is more to it. I may do a tutorial on this, on like how I get it working, depends. But for the moment, this is really what it is, and that's all there is to it for this contraption. So just want to thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more stuff like this, I have mini games I'm working on, I have contraptions I'm working on. Just subscribe if you want more content. Follow me on Twitter if you want to see what else is going on. I post little updates that I'm doing. I want to thank you guys for watching, and see y'all later.